Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Christie Archer of Christie Archer Designs, and this is my knitting podcast episode 31. If you are new here, I am excited to have you and grab your knitting and sit back and spend some time with me while I chat about what I've been working on and plan to be working on. If you are not new here, if you are one of my amazing returning viewers, I am so excited to have you back and hanging out with me while we share our knitting. So, this episode, I am going to be talking about great fall projects that you really should add to your needles or to your queue, and get ready to cast these on because these are some great patterns that knit up quick and are very wearable. So with all of that said, we're going to jump straight into my first finished object, and that is almost done. I'm counting it as a finished object. I just have to weave in the ends, and if you're not new here, you know that that is very much not like me. However, I was afraid I was losing light, and I'm shooting a little bit later today than I normally do, and so I decided to go ahead and shoot, and I'll weave these ends afterwards. But this is my RNR Tank, and it is a design that I am working on and hope to have in testing very soon. This is a pattern that is constructed bottom up. It has a 1x1 hem, and it has these V-straps, V-neck and V-back that does not roll because it has a finish that keeps everything laying nice and flat. And this is done out of fingering weight. I've been making a lot of these over the summer, and I've been using sport weight. And I decided to do this one out of fingering, and this is yarn by Knit Picks called Hawthorne, and the colorway I'm pretty sure was called Hollyberry. However, I think they've discontinued that color, and they have another similar color. I don't know what the new name is, but they do have a very similar color to this. And this is the Kettle Dyed series. And this pattern has a stitch gauge of 24 count per 4 inches, and I personally did the stockinette on a US 4 needle. You would use whatever gets you gauge. This size is a 32 for my daughter, and doesn't take a lot of yarn, and it whips up really fast. You'll see a theme here with the projects that I have done and am working on, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, that's my first FO, and my second one I'm really excited about. My second one is this beauty. I love the way it turned out. This is the Holiday Slipover by Petite Knit, and this is a bulky weight pattern. Petite Knit does a lot of 2 to 3 yarn combos, and I believe this one is 3 yarns. I believe this one was written for a fingering and 2 strands of mohair. I ended up using Hue and Me yarn. It's a Lion Brand yarn collaboration with 2 of Wands, and the yarn color is called Cement. And I love the way this has turned out. And you talk about a fast project. This could be done in a day. If you have a day to just sit aside and enjoy a quick project, this is one that you should definitely cast on. This would also be great for a gift project. A gift knit. It has a beautiful Italian bind off and has really deep armholes, which I like because I have a linen blouse that it's a raglan blouse, and so the armhole depth is really long on it, so I'm excited to wear this with that. And then it has a split hem, and it does have a high-low hem, so it's longer in the back. And this is knit top down, flat in the beginning. Once you reach the armholes, you combine and join in the round. Not that there is much knitting. I think it's like 3.5 inches before you do the hems. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. I am making my daughter one as well, and hers is going to be out of, and I didn't bring that with me, it's a green color of yarn. I can't remember the name of the color, but anyway, this is a super fun project, and you feel accomplished in a short amount of time, and it has big impact. The styling possibilities with this are endless. So very excited. I did make some modifications on this. The original pattern has an extremely tight crew neck, so I did add 4 rows to the final length before I joined the shoulders, and even with that, I can still barely get a collared shirt under it. So she has designed it to wear with like a long sleeve tee or a dress without a collar, but I knew I was going to be wearing a collar under it, and my daughter as well, so I added some length there. I do plan on making more of these because they're so much fun, and I do think they're going to be a lot of fun to style, but I do think I will open up that neckline even more, and the way I may do it on my next one is to do fewer shoulder stitches so that the neck opening opens up 1 or 2 stitches wider, and then I may take it down just a little bit more once again. But yeah, love this pattern, and like all petite knit patterns, they are classic. They will, they're just so easy to add to your wardrobe. So I'm very excited about that. The gauge on that one is, actually, I never did get that added to my notes. I did use a US 11 for the body, and which is an 8mm, and I used a US 10.5 for the ribbing, and for the last row of ribbing on the on all of them, I did drop down 1 more needle size to a 10, and it gives a nicer finish to the Italian bind off. So yeah, that was my second FO, and I got 2 FOs done in the 2 weeks since my last podcast. I do have 1 WIP to share, and it is almost done. I could have gotten it done last night, but I had a long day at work and just decided to relax last night and watch TV with the hubby. But this one is a pattern that I have made quite a few times, and I will continue to make because it is such a great pattern. This is the Thea, and it is by Paula Strict. And I used Cascade 220 Sport, and I bought that from Wool & Company online, their online store. If you ever get a chance to order from Wool & Company, I highly recommend them. They do not charge shipping. And I don't think their prices are increased to help cover the cost of shipping. And they are fast. They have great customer service. Highly recommend them. And this is not a sponsored podcast. I just believe in them. The gauge for this is 22 stitches per 4 inches. I used a US 6 for the stockinette, 4 millimeter, and a US 4 or 3.5 millimeter for the ribbing. The colorway on this one is called Rose Cloud, and I had so much fun, or am having so much fun working on this because of the color. I am really, really, really excited. Now, the neckline, I did an Italian bind off on it, and I just didn't like the way that looked with this yarn, this project, whatever. And all of the other Theas I've done a standard bind off, and I do like the look of that better with this for some reason. So I am going to go back on the sleeves. I have done a standard bind off, and I do like that so much better. For some reason, the Italian bind off ended up looking not as tidy as I would have liked. However, that said, I didn't go down one needle size like I should have for that last round, and maybe that's why it doesn't look as tidy. I am going to be making more of these, so maybe I'll try it again, or maybe I'll just do a swatch of the ribbing and try the Italian bind off by going down one additional needle size on that last round and just see what happens. But I have just a little bit more to do on the side length before I start the ribbing. I think I have like 2 inches left total. So maybe another inch of stockinette and an inch of the ribbing. And yeah, then this one's going to be ready to wear. Need to get it blocked and everything, but I did a steam blocking up here before I added the ribbing, just so it was a little bit easier to pick up the stitches. But it hasn't been blocked. It was just steamed with my iron. And yeah, I'm really, really, really excited. This project is probably a weekend project. I've just been working on it a little bit here and there over the past week. Not as consistently as I would normally sit down and work on a project. But this is, including this is 3 50-gram skeins. And I'm thinking that the Cascade is like $6.50 a hank. So this is a very inexpensive project. And again, these are great. All of these projects, well, the holiday slipover would not fall into this category, but most of these are great for any time of year, transitional, winter, you know, whatever, because you can either change the weight of the shirt that you're wearing underneath these, or do no shirt, which I find that a great way to get a lot of use out of your projects. So that is my one and only FO. Now for my upcoming projects, and I'm very excited. I will be popping pictures up here as I talk about these. My future plans are the standard stock, the first Stockholm slipover by Petite Knit, and I'm going to be doing that, and I did not bring my yarns in here. Sorry about that. I'll pop pictures up of the yarn that I plan on using for each project as well. For the Stockholm slipover, I am going to be using Cascade 220 in the sport in the West Point Blue Heather, and that is going to be just gorgeous. I'm really, really, really excited about that. I am also going, a lot of these are Petite Knit patterns, and again, this is not sponsored. I just really like her style. So I will also be doing the weekend slipover, and I'm excited for that because once again, I think the styling opportunities for this is really going to be fun because it's a wide, boxy fit, loose, kind of baggy vest, and I think that's going to look really good. You can do it with leggings, or you could do it with jeans, of course, or you know, there's a lot of different ways to play that one up, so I'm excited about that. And for that one, I'm going to be hand dyeing some yarn. I have some yarn here in my stash already, blank yarn, and I'm going to be knitting up something, and I think I'm going to do like a really light grayish beige kind of color. I think that's going to be really pretty with jeans. I'm envisioning it with a crisp white shirt and some ripped up blue jeans, kind of my favorite vibe. And then next, I am also thinking about doing a vest that I found, and it is called the Esther Vest, and it is by Kimmy Jo Knit, and it is a gorgeous V-necked cable pattern. And I just think to add, I'm really into, I like doing a lot of stockinette because I feel like it's going to stand the test of time. But cable, you can't go wrong with that either. So I think I'm going to be doing that cable design, and I'm doing it out of, once again, Cascade 220. I bought a lot of this from Wool & Company, and kind of stocked up on enough to do quite a few vests, and I'm doing that one in the charcoal color. So I think that, once again, crisp white shirt, and it's more of a fitted vest, so I'm thinking I'm going to crop it, and so that I can you know, have more of a fitted white shirt underneath, and then the long tail hanging out, and then just some really rustic kind of blue jeans. I think that'll be really sharp. And then the last one I have planned, I was thinking of doing the Friday slipover by Petite Knit, but I think instead of that, what I'm going to do is the Friday slipover. I'll pop a picture up of that as well. It is a textured design, and I can't remember. No, it's not Andalusia. It may be. I can't remember what the texture was. But anyway, I hesitate on the textures, especially when it's not just a standard texture. And I'm afraid that one almost has more of a masculine vibe to it. So even though that was my initial plan, I think what I'm going to do instead is a modified version of the Thea, and I'm going to modify it by doing a V-neck Thea instead of the round-necked Thea. And then that colorway I'm doing is called Doe Skin. So it's a really soft beige color. And again, I just think that looks great with denim. Or it would be really pretty with some black, maybe faux leather leggings or something. That could look really, really good. So that is what I have planned coming up. And I did forget to bring in my purchases, my Happy Mail, but like I said, I will be popping pictures up of the new yarn that I got. The Thea, the Rose Cloud, that is a new, that was, I got 4 or 5. See, I got Rose Cloud, Charcoal, the West Point Blue Heather, Doe Skin. So I must have gotten 4 colors. And I may be getting one of the green colors as well, because I'd like to have a green vest in my wardrobe as well. So I just thought all of this would be a lot of fun. They're quick and easy things to knit up and to make a really nice statement to my winter wardrobe, especially with me being in the desert of Southern California. We have very mild winters, and so I think it would be a great way to still wear hand knits in the winter for me, and be able to use wool yarn, because most of the time I have to use cotton yarn, or just keep it fingering weight, which a fingering weight sweater can take time. But anyway, that is it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for making it to the end. I hope you have enjoyed this faster podcast. And if you are interested in more videos, I will, at the end here, pop up some other videos that you can check out if you haven't already. And I also have a subscribe button up here. I would love to have you subscribe and join in my community. Share with your friends. If you do like this content, share it with your friends and have them join in over here as well. And if you have any questions about anything I've talked about, please leave me a comment, and I will have everything linked in the description box below. So that is it for today. I will try to be back in 2 weeks. And until then, happy knitting, my friends. Bye.